Okay, guys. So as I was saying, what was I saying? Oh, I just had it in my head. So hold on a minute, guys. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking in my brain, as my 4-year-old cousin used to say. Hold on. What was I saying? Boy, it sure is cold out here, but I'm very prepared. I have my gloves. I have flannel gloves and a very thick hoodie. So, oh guys, I forget what I was saying. Oh, and I have my hat on too, like the hoodie hat, and I have a really thick sweater underneath, and then a t-shirt. So I'm very warm. And no bees, yay! Oh, I was saying something. I forget. What was I saying, guys? Gonna have to forgive me as I pause. So just keep watching the world go by as I think in my brain. Guys, but I'll try to remember as I'll continue to ramble on, but I'll continue to talk. If you're hearing some voices, it's my neighbors, one of my neighbors. They're out on the balcony. My eyes are tearing up. I have my sunglasses, but my eyes are tearing up because of the wind. So, oh, how frustrating. Anyway. So I think I was saying, anyway, I'll try to remember as I talk. So I think, was I talking about my country or something here in North America? Oh, guys, I forget what I was saying, but yeah, anyway, so guys, just make sure that if you are dealing with extreme weight loss, or if you are very overweight, if you were seeing my camera shaking, hold on, the wind was blowing it, yeah, the wind was blowing it, and just now sorry. Okay, sorry guys. Yeah, I was trying to hold the camera still, and then the wind was blowing my hands, and then the camera started moving. Ooh, the wind is blowing into up my sleeve because my wrist is exposed, but I'm okay. Ooh, I'm feeling the cold now. It's really windy out there. I mean, out here. Okay, so, yeah. Also, guys, some people, they have children, and whatever, like, people that are starving themselves or throwing up, their children pick that up, and then their children start to develop that awful habit of throwing up and throwing up their food and or starving themselves. They just don't eat. They won't eat. And by the way, guys, okay, this nonsense about, like, here in Canada and probably in all different parts of the world, bulimia, which is the eating disorder where people eat a lot of food, like they starve. I'm not starve, but they'll sit there and eat tons of food, a huge amount of food. Then they'll throw it all up. Okay, those are bulimics. And then there are the anorexics who starve themselves. They will not eat. They just starve and exercise, and they starve and they starve. Those are the ones that go down to, like, skin and bones. Skin and bones. And when they look at themselves in the mirror, they see an overweight person. So here in Canada and probably in different parts of the world, bulimia, which are bulimics, and anorexia, have anorexia, it's been declared a disease. Yes, guys, a disease. I'm sorry, but if a person is going to start to destroy their bodies based on what the world thinks they're supposed to look like, that is not a disease. That is a choice. That is called an insecurity. Okay, that's an insecurity. All right? Because if you're going to convince yourself that you look 300 pounds when you only weigh 90, that is a choice. Because you want to look like what the world thinks you're supposed to look like, and you have caved into the pressure. Instead of saying, you know what? I'm not going to cave into the pressure of the world for what they think I should look like. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be the healthy person that I'm supposed to be for my height and my weight. Therefore, I'm going to adapt a healthy way of living instead of starving myself or throwing up all my food. Don't come here with this. It's a disease. It's not a disease. It is a choice. Just like drug addiction. Drug addiction in Canada has now been declared a disease. So has alcoholism. Alcoholism in Canada has been declared a disease. Okay? Alcoholism and drug addiction are choices. People choose to become addicts. Okay? People don't choose real diseases like cancer. Okay? Cancer chooses people. Okay? People choose to become addicts. Okay? Cancer chooses people. People don't choose cancer. People choose to become addicts by willfully injecting themselves with whatever they're injecting themselves with, and by willfully gulping down alcohol to make themselves drunk. Okay, those are choices. Everybody goes through traumas. Not everybody resorts to drug addiction or alcoholism. All right? So don't come here with drug addiction and alcoholism as a disease. Please. That's nonsense. And these eating disorders as a disease. If you guys do research, okay, do research on the internet about people who have quit drug addiction and alcoholism cold turkey. It's out there. I've known people who have done that. I've known people who have quit alcoholism cold turkey. Okay, after chronic alcoholism since the time they were between 7 and 9 years old, and then they quit cold turkey when they were in their mid-60s. Cold turkey. They had no desire to drink anymore. Okay, and there are also people who have quit cold turkey from doing drugs. So do your research. It's out there. There are people who have done that. There are many people who have quit alcoholism and drug addiction cold turkey. If those people can do it, then why can't others? Right? So there's no excuse. And also, I've also seen research. I've also seen documentaries, guys, of girls who have quit starving their bodies. Do you know what they say? Do you know what the majority of them say? They say that they woke up. They just woke up and realized that what they were doing was harmful to their bodies, and they all regretted it because of the harm they caused. Some of them, depending on how long they were destroying their bodies, they develop irreversible, heart disease. And they regret it. They said that they understood that they had convinced themselves of something that wasn't a reality. That's not a mental disease. That's a choice. That's a choice. Just like some drug addicts, guys. Some drug addicts believe that getting high is not something harmful. They think that it's okay. They don't even believe that they're causing harm to their bodies physically. They actually believe. They don't even believe the evidence that's out there that shows that the kind of damage that drug addiction causes in the body. They don't believe that. There are people who have convinced themselves of that. Not even after they get sick. Not even after their doctors tell them, look, this is the cause of, these are the results of what's going on in your body because of the drugs. They are the results of the drug that you are putting into your body. Now you got to stop. But there are people who say, no, I don't believe it. That's nonsense. I don't care what those reports say. That's nonsense. There are people like that. That's not a disease. That is a choice because they love the effects of what the drugs are doing to them. They care more about the high they're getting than about how the drug is destroying their body. Okay, those are people who have convinced themselves of something, that is not true because they don't want to give up how good the drugs make them feel, or alcohol, or bulimia, or anorexia. Okay, that's what's going on. So anyway, now back to what I was talking about in the very beginning about how we should not hide ourselves just because of however our bodies look like right now, whether we're very, very thin or very, very big. We should not layer up so many clothing just to make us look bigger because we're so thin, or wear black if we're overweight because we think it's making us look thinner and we're trying to hide the world how big we really are. No, just wear, don't do any of that. Just be yourself. Just for the thin ones, stop layering up your clothes and just wear whatever you have at home. Just be normal again, just like the way you were when you were your regular weight. Just be normal. And for those that are bigger, don't wear black because it doesn't look attractive. Just wearing all black does not look attractive. Just if you're gonna wear something black, wear one or the other, or the top or the bottom. But don't wear all black for the sake of trying to hide who you are. Because some people wear black every single day in an attempt to try and hide their body weight. Yeah. And you know what, guys? When I used to be so thin, 93 pounds, I used to hate going out when it was bright and sunny because I'm like, oh no, people are gonna see me. It's gonna be so bright outside, and I don't like going outside when it's too bright. I don't want people to see me because I'm so thin. So then I would walk down the street and I would walk on the shady side. And I'd be so relieved whenever I'd pass under a tree, like that tree over there, because there was the shade. I would rather stay underneath the shade. You see, so that's how I used to think. And I used to love it whenever it was really, really dark outside, super cloudy. I used to love going out when it was really cloudy because I get high at it, it's dark outside, nobody's paying attention, and I'm just walking around. Nobody will notice me, it's too dark. You know what I mean? So that's how self-conscious I was about being so thin. Yeah. Oh, I think that's what I was talking about before I started recording this. I think I was talking about how I'm not impressed about people telling me how nice I look when I'm so thin. I think that's what I was talking about in my last clip before I had to cut out and come to this next clip. I think that's what I was saying. See, so I was saying that I get a lot of compliments from strangers because they tell me, oh, you look so nice, you're so thin, look how beautiful you look. Oh, I wish I was that skinny, right? And I don't say anything. I smile, but I don't say, just out of being polite, I smile. But in my mind, as they're telling me this, I am not impressed by it because I'm thinking to myself, how could you possibly think that what I look like right now is anything attractive? I cannot believe how twisted, now I say this out of respect, okay? I cannot believe how twisted the thoughts are about what girls should look like in North America. For what, I cannot believe how twisted for the thoughts are for what girls should look like in North America. That they actually tell me that I look nice and I look so beautiful and I wish I looked like you, and I get that a lot. You see, but in my country, if you're gonna walk down the street, you're gonna hear people talking to them, to their friends. Look at her, she's so skinny. I can't believe how skinny she is. She looks horrible. What's wrong with her? What is she gained some weight? I can't believe it. What's going on with her? She's so thin. Is she sick or something? You're gonna hear that on the streets, guys. If you're standing next to somebody, or you're walking someplace, or you're in the store, or you're waiting for the transit, or if you're in the park. other people getting into their car. You will hear that. You will hear that. You're gonna hear that at parties. You're gonna hear that wherever you go. Like here like here, like in Canada, right? If you're gonna go to a Latino party and you're gonna look like me, they're gonna stare at you and say, "Look at that! I can't believe how skinny she is. What's wrong with her? Look at that! She's so skinny and bone. Somebody feed her a chicken. Hurry, hurry! Give her some potatoes. You know, get some fat in there." Yeah, they're gonna talk like that. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're from a country that has my culture, where you know everything is nice and you have to be big. Wherever you are in the world, if you're gonna attend a party like that, where there are people like that, from a country like mine, you're gonna get people talking like that about you, or anybody else that's showing up at a party like that. They're gonna talk about that person. So yeah. I you know, like I said, I don't like it whenever people tell me how nice I look and how and they say, "Oh, I wish I looked like you," because they don't understand how unhealthy it is to be this to be this thin at my height. They don't understand the thing is, they are going by what this culture is here in North America. And in my brain, when I'm hearing these things, I cannot, guys, it really frustrates me, and I'm getting so anxious because I'm like, I can't believe you're telling me this. Do you not understand that this is nothing pretty? Don't you like yeah, I'm having this conversation with these people, right, in my brain. I'm like, don't you like, you know, nice and full, a girl to fill out her pants, her jeans and her shirt and her coat? Don't you like girls that look like that instead of somebody who's a stick figure? What's wrong with you? How can you think that a stick figure is anything attractive? You're supposed to like thick thighs, thick calves, okay, a big bum, okay, hips, nice big arms. Not somebody that looks like a broomstick. You understand? I don't understand what. Can anybody understand? Like, look. I'm trying to understand why people in North America like stick figures. I don't understand that. It is very frustrating to me to try to comprehend what is so attractive about stick figure people. I don't get that. Don't guys want something to hold on to instead of having bones sliding through their arms? You understand what I'm saying? Don't guys like to hold on to something that they can see instead of something that they can barely see, that is so thin? I don't get it. Now again, it's just a part of the middle of North America, the middle of the U.S. all the way up to Alaska, straight through to Canada, all the way up to Alaska, all of that part of North America. They all have that part there. It's all they all have an unhealthy image of what females are supposed to look like. You know, so makes me very, very, very sad. And you know what, guys? Also, like, many times I'm walking down the street, or I'm doing shopping, and I will see girls, right? And they're a little bit overweight. Girls around my height or a little bit taller than me, and they're overweight. You could tell like they're about 180, 200 pounds. And I can see them from afar, just looking at me up and down, and just looking at me, you know. And I feel so bad, guys, because I can see what's going on in their hearts. I can actually hear what they're saying. I wish I looked like her. And I wish I could tell them. I said, no, you don't wish you could look like me, because you have to understand that somebody that looks like me is not healthy for my height. You know, it's guys, I still have. I still can't run a few blocks. I can run one block. That's it. I can run one block, and that's it. Before, I couldn't run even 10 feet because I would risk fainting. But now I can run one block, and that's a big accomplishment. So, because I get exhausted, and you know, the agony of the pain of wanting to faint if I run past a block, it's horrible. It's an agonizing, like a torment. Yeah, and the thing is, I see that all the time. You know, I'll pass by and the girls, ladies or girls passing by me, and they're just looking at me and wishing they look like me. I feel so bad for them. I feel so bad because I wish they could know how I feel about what they look like. I would say, no, you don't want to look like me, and believe me, just because you're a little bit overweight, it doesn't mean that looking like me is what you should look like. On Monday, when I went and took my cat to the veterinarian, no, it was actually when I went. It was after that. After I took my cat to the vet. I came home. I dropped her off, and then sorry if the camera's moving, guys. I'm holding the tripods, trying to hold the tripod still, and the wind is blowing. So after I came home, I dropped my cat off at home after I took her to the vets, and then I went to one of the stores. Where was I going? Oh, it was on my way back. Okay, so then I dropped off my cat, went to the stores, and then on my way back, as I was walking on my way back home, I noticed this girl ahead of me, and she was probably around 170, around 5'6", 170 pounds. And when we got to about 20 feet, she was walking in my direction, and I was walking in her direction. And so when we reached close enough to each other, I saw that she was looking at me, you know, from my head to my feet. And I felt bad because I could see what she was saying. Like, I admire her. She was saying, I admire her. I wish I looked like that. And guys, I always feel bad. I really, really do. I feel so bad. And guys, sometimes when I pass by girls that are that big, I can also hear, like I will see inside their spirit, they have a high level of insecurities. They're depressed, and they hate the way they look. They love what they're seeing when they're seeing me pass by, and they loathe the way they look. And those are the cases that make me the saddest. Guys, my mouth is becoming numb. I'm not cold, but my face isn't cold, but my mouth and my jaw is becoming numb because it's cold out here. So I'm gonna have to stop this soon. So like I said, those are the cases that make me the saddest. They make me the most saddest because of the condition in their hearts. They are so depressed. And I just wish I could just run up to them and hug them and say, hey, I love you, you know? You're a wonderful human being. Look at you, you're beautiful. You're gorgeous. Look what the Lord Jesus made. Now, yes, you are overweight, but it doesn't mean that you are any less valuable. You are made in the image of the Most High. Look how beautiful you are. Look at this creation that God made. Look how beautiful you are. God bless you. I wish I could just do that. And I am very anxious, guys, when I pass by them, because when I pass by them, I can feel their souls screaming and crying and saying, I wish I looked like that. I wish I looked like that. And they're crying, guys. They have this agony, and it's like they're throwing themselves on the floor and rolling all around with a high level of anxiety and agony because they wish they looked like the person that just passed by them. Those are the cases that they want to depress me, you know. It makes me sad. So you see, guys, that's the sort of thing. This is what the fashion industry has created for girls. You know, that's what they have created for girls. And the thing is, when I say North America, I'm talking about generational North Americans, not immigrants like people from, like for example, like from my country, Ecuador, or South and Central. Ooh! Hold on, guys. There's a bee. Oh, sorry, guys. Where'd it go? I saw a bee coming to me. Hold on. Sorry, guys. The bee it came and then it left. It was hovering around me, and then it left. I guess it's too cold to hang out. So, I'm talking. Okay, when I say like North America, from the middle of the U.S. all the way straight up through Canada, straight up into Alaska, I'm talking about generational North Americans, and not immigrants, like from my country, Ecuador, or from South and like those parts of the world, like South and Central America, the Caribbean, Europe, because in Europe there's still a very healthy image of what girls are supposed to look like, except for England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, except for those parts. Every other part of Europe, yes, Italy, Portugal, Greece, okay, all those parts, they still have, you know, Romania, Russia, they all have very healthy images of what girls are supposed to look like. So every European country except for the ones that I mentioned, like in the UK, they have a very healthy image of what girls are supposed to look like. All over India, you know, all over, you know, Asia, they have healthy images of what girls are supposed to look like. All over Africa, they have a very healthy image of what girls are supposed to look like. Okay? The Caribbean, South and Central America, Africa, Asia, Europe, you know, some parts of Europe, the majority of Europe. Am I forgetting any place else? Yeah, so, yeah. You know, so if I forget, have I forgotten any continents? I don't think so, but thank God that the majority of the world have healthy images of what girls are supposed to look like. So anyway, guys, I think I'm done, and I better go inside. What are the dog? Guys, you know what? When I was on my way to take UMMAH to the doctor. Oh, I thought those were dog walkers. Okay, so I'm just looking outside of my viewfinder and I see that it's a couple with some children in a wagon. I thought they were, like, through the viewfinder, it looks like a whole bunch of little doggies, big doggies, like dog walkers, people and dog walkers. So while I was on my, oh, it's 27 minutes. While I was on my way to take UMMAH to the veterinarian on Monday, I was walking in that direction, over there. And then I saw a dog walker just ahead up there. They had like around 6 or 8 dogs, big dogs. And I had my cat in my, I'll show you the buggy. I'll show you the little clip. I'm gonna have it posted for you so you can see when me and UMMAH coming back home from the vets. So anyway, so I was walking up that way, and then I see this guy with about 7 or between 6 to 8 dogs. And then I had to run in the dry cleaners because I didn't want the dogs to smell my cat. So I ran in there, and then the dry cleaner guy's like, "Hi." I said, "No, don't worry. Is it okay because there's a guy over there with a whole bunch of dogs, and I have my cat in my buggy. Is it okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's okay." So then he left again, and then I ran back outside again. Well, not ran. I went back outside again because the dog walker went away, and the dog walker was really nice enough to get on the street because he saw me. Anyway, okay, guys, I gotta go. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell so that you will be notified for every time I upload a video. Okay, God bless you. I love you all. Bye.